Part 2 of the rant, and time for your feedback.
Few technical issues there.
Yes. Well,
if you're in the park, you would have had a laugh anyway. Good old rant. One thing about the Punisher and the rant, we've always been held together with plasticine.
That's true. It's high tech. High tech.
I think there's an email later that alludes to the fact that that's part of the charm.
Well, it is.
Anyway,
so a good email here from young Shane. Mark?
Yes, guys, great to have you back. I've known of you since the early 80s when I was a Saturday track regular. Peter Todd always first up with his prices, Harry Barrett and Mark Reed comedy act in the Interstate Ring. There was Hats Aitken running the punters podium in the breezeway and Sean and Kingsley running around taking all the top odds. I'm only a small player betting in 50s and 100s, and I remember Stewie Davison and another son of a bookie, probably Michael Cook, I think standing in the betting ring with thousands in their pockets. I was envious with me standing around watching with 1200 in mine, which seems like
an okay bank to me.
Back in the 80s too. So,
yeah. Would have bought your house in the 80s, didn't it? 1200. It seems like that.
Married now with 4 kids, but it doesn't stop me on Saturday with my corporate bookie account open, ready to go. I should make a return to the track and say hello, but I see you guys are real busy, so I don't like to disturb.
Shane, don't ever think that. You can always come and say hello to me, especially if it's after the race. I'm always happy to say g'day to people, especially if they're an old face and I remember you or something.
Yeah, of course, you know, there's time close to the race where it's perhaps not appropriate, but
probably from when I watch them parade at the 10-minute mark in, then it's game on. It's dead set. Let's bet. But after the race, you know, as long as correct weight's also gone up, because I'm also disturbed about protests and other issues and itchies and scratchies. Maybe I do look like I'm hard to talk to.
I know a lot of blokes are scared to come up to you guys because you've got a bit of a profile and they always think you're busy, but you've got to realise that this is why this show exists as well. You guys want people that are out there to bet, don't you? And you want them to have as much information.
The Punisher show started was mainly the first, it was never to sell tips, it was to get people to the track.
That's right, you know, we were just like
rolling along.
Yeah.
Just rolling along. It was a great idea by Dallas.
You didn't dream of selling any tips, did you?
No.
At the beginning, you were just like,
took 3 months in.
Let's talk about racing.
Kept getting email.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Emails, can we tell? No, and I said to Dallas, well, no one will buy them. So it didn't start off like as a business model. It started off to get people to the track. Anyway,
and if you come to the track, you can get it for free. Everybody out there is so honest with their information, aren't they? Particularly you two guys. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you're not a paid customer, if they want to walk up at a quiet period and
you like anything here, Glenn? Do you like something, Mark? Yeah, I think this.
And it's not bullshit. It's the dinky dive stuff that you actually are interested in backing and interested in playing.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway,
where did the Sharpies live? Because they don't live on the track.
The sharp operators?
You know, the people that wouldn't tell you the truth.
I don't know. I know people like that. They are a particularly odd type person.
Maybe there's fewer of them than you think.
Maybe there is, and maybe they've all fallen on their own swords. That type of person. And maybe it's a bit cloak and dagger the old days. Now it's different now.
Sure is.
Anyway, keep going here. So,
biggest winning weekend was the Epsom Metropolitan Double I had in 1992. Kinjite with Tiako Neck. Was that Gay's first Group 1 win?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
$300 at 33s with my favourite jockey, Mighty Mick Dittman.
He rode the double, did he? He would have, yeah, for sure he rode Kinjite.
Good luck with your new venture. I've seen all your shows and will continue watching the rant.
Thanks for that, Chase. Good on you. Down here from
Ben. Yeah, good God, he says. Good God. Yeah.
Good
Glenn.
G-A-W-D.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's sort of a nickname of mine too. Gaudy it was. Yeah.
Glenn, Mark, Gord, love your work. Love the new format. Couple of questions. Gord looks like Dallas with a 3-day growth and sunnies.
Okay, well, better.
Is it him in disguise?
Better make the pose.
Is it him in disguise? Yeah.
I can tell you it's not because there's none of this.
Tell boy used to do that, did he?
Yeah, but I'm making a conscious effort not to move, see?
2, my mates have a horse typecast. Can you please give us your honest opinion on its performance, etc., and let us know your thoughts, good or bad? Snowden's trainer. Won a race at Canterbury back in the
1250, beat Bubbleberry.
It's a Wednesday horse. Handy.
I haven't watched this trial, but it beat Pain and Firetail in trial. So
recently.
Yeah, Pain and Firetail actually trials all right. So I haven't watched it. So.
I would say your mates will not lose a cent owning this horse.
What would you say about Snowden's, given that obviously, you know, they're a big stable now?
136 horses, someone told me today. It's a lot of horses. It's 136 horses and let's say he gets 150 a day, it's 1,050 a week, so you get 140,000 in income coming into the joint per week. Gee, you can have a lot of staff with 140,000 a week coming in.
I reckon best trainer in Australia by a country mile.
Gord's always, looking to Snowden. He's looking lightly raced in Snowden. There's two of your pillars.
He's been unbelievably successful in the transition from being cuddled his whole life to being out in the open playing field.
But was he cuddled his whole life? He was.
See,
was he?
That's what I want to know. How much input did he have with Hawks? Was he like?
I reckon he was the man behind the man.
Yeah.
But don't you think cuddled? Like, no matter what happens, the bills are paid. Isn't that cuddled? No matter what happens, your income goes in every month. No matter what happens.
You mean when he was with Darley?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So no matter what happens,
But he had to get to that position, and
He took a massive risk, didn't he?
it's a massive risk. And like an unbelievable success. Unbelievable success. Like, I would nearly say more successful than Chris, because Chris is just incredible as well. He's built and built and built and built, and like the machine just gets chewing up and getting bigger.
Yeah, whereas Snowden, to make the leap that he made.
The leap was massive.
Oh, didn't he start with a bang but as well?
I remember him starting with his first horse out of Hawkesbury in a maiden. He came out last race to watch this legless piece of rubbish. He might have had half a dozen horses in the stable, and it either got up and won, but I remember him cheering. I remember thinking, you poor bastard, you'd be out of the game in 6 months. That's what I thought. He was out there, he had the missus out there, and there was like mother types, like grandma women, and he doesn't hang around a young, cool, big titty set. It's all fucking old broads for beat. Maybe it goes that way, I don't know. Who knows what anyone does.
Well, that's good. It means he's concentrating on his job.
So is
Absolutely.
there a trainer that's doing that, but pimping it out there, with his
Walks in with 6 shillings.
I don't think
There
there
probably
is.
isn't, is there? Yeah. It's not a really hot pickup line when you're in the nightclub at like 6 in the afternoon. You've got to be in bed by 7.
So, but the jockeys can do it because
Jockeys
they're
can do it.
celebrities.
Because they're young too. And they're all jockeys are.
There's a lot of work to being a trainer. I mean, I'm not saying the
Well,
jockeys
that's what I'm saying.
don't work, but
It's hard to pick up
they're,
girls.
They're
Hard to pick up girls at the club at 6 o'clock in the night when you're going to be in bed by 7. Yeah, you're right. But he made a leap that's incredible.
So you're saying trainer's only hope is Tinder?
I don't know.
7 o'clock date.
Dunno.
One thing about Snowden is don't worry about trials with Snowden horses. They control. It looks like they go really poorly and they come up on race day and just perform so much better. So that's an
so we
angle,
used
I think.
to talk about Gay's horses like being flogged in their trials. Well, Snowden has a lot of horses trial pretty moderately. And Gord, I think, pointed this out to me a long time ago. He said, "Oh, look, I love it when they trial bad. I love it. I'm really worried if they
Isn't
trial
that very
good."
Vic Thompson?
Right, but Vic,
Isn't he a protege of Vic Thompson?
I suppose he would have had something to do with Vic.
Well, I get scared if Snowden's horses are pushed out and win their trial.
Yeah.
Pushed out and win.
Yeah.
I know how they parade. I know he feeds them absolutely perfectly. I suppose when you get 140,000 a week coming into the joint, you can buy all the best feed, have the good staff. I know he's got good track work riders and good people around him.
Right, so success begets success.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, back to Ben. He says, don't change a thing, except please include more background noise. Suggestions include a high pressure cleaner or a brick saw. If you moved to a studio, the magic would be lost.
Oh, the
Cheers,
studio.
Ben.
Yeah, studio's more your idea, Gordon. What's that all about?
Well, because
Something worked out for us?
I wanted to watch the show and actually listen to what we were saying. Maybe Ben's not so interested in what we have to say.
Well, that's the grass cutters in the back. I don't mind the grass cutters in the back. Every time I see the grass cutters, I think, thank God, that's not me.
To be honest, there's no awkward silences when there's a mower, but isn't there?
Yeah,
So.
bit of a mower noise.
So Oatsy says, great to see you guys back.
We've had a lot of positive feedback about being back, Mark, which has been great. Make us keep doing it.
2 observations. You introduced Gord, but who is he? Who is he? Who are you?
How are you, Gordon? He's Dallas with hair.
Life history. Dad was a bookmaker. Probably had my first bet when I was about 4. Mum put it on for me.
Really?
Yes, she did. Yes. Which actually means that Dad must have been going poorly because when the wife of the bookmaker's out at the racetrack, that's always a bad sign.
Oh, she was working?
No, she wasn't working. She was there, but it can be a bad sign. And then, met Mark when I was about 20 years old and I was a losing punter but just loved the game and learned a bit off him, and then met a guy called Gary Forrester when I was about 25, doing my money every week, the paycheck every week, learned a bit more off him, realised that it didn't matter how much money I made in work, I was never going to have any unless I could find a way to win on the punt. So after that, at about 27, 28 years of age, I'd ring guys or bump into them and have a beer with guys like your Glenn, your Marks, your Forresters, pick up as much as I possibly could, and then sort of started making money about sort of 8 years ago or something like that. So, yeah.
Find yourself on the right-hand side of the punter show.
But by the way, never at the racetrack though. So it was all meeting you guys socially off the racetrack.
There it is.
And learning from that, and then just watching Betfair and watching the corporates, and then thinking I had to get a job when the corporates started turning everybody off, until the new Racing New South Wales laws came in. And
So that's a godsend as far as you're concerned.
absolutely massive.
That's an interesting story, isn't it? And obviously, see, God is in the situation of most punters, in that it's only the tip of the iceberg that actually come to the track.
Oh, I know that.
You know, or it's actually the bottom of the pile, depending on how you look at it. But I mean, most punters are off course. Most punters are remote. Most punters are
out
wide.
wide. And they like the privacy of out wide too.
Sure.
If you're betting big on a racetrack, you have a profile. Anyway. Yeah.
But I mean, that's there's the flip side. You remember back in the days of on course, where you may have been private, but the fact is that everyone knew what was going on, and if everyone knew that you were a sharp tool,
Yep.
you know, so your ego was satisfied by the fact that you had a profile, no matter how private you were.
Yeah.
How does the leather undies on the couch punter, show off?
Yeah.
For me, it's always been simple. I don't like let emotion get involved at all. For me, it's quite simple. The bank balance goes up. That's it.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
need
always
it.
a
I
nice-
don't need positive reinformation
Yeah, okay,
or
so
whatever.
yeah.
For me, I can just look at if there's money coming in, then I'm doing the right thing. So
But I mean, ego
that's-
is a major driver of getting people involved in the game in the first place.
Look, I'd suggest I did it wrong. I reckon I could have got going a lot quicker if I actually had gone to the races. Yeah, my idea was to sit at home on the computer, but to go out to the races would have probably cut about 2 or 3 years.
I've really noticed you've learned a lot in 2 meetings out there with me. Like just your spectrum's gone like this.
And everybody else is getting away with the carrying on, and I just sort of sit there quietly and watch the guys that are good operators, and listen to you and listen to Mark, and you can always learn more. And to be honest, any angle you find to make money is probably going to be gone after 3 months anyway, and you've got to find another angle. So you've got to constantly evolve. The market catches on. If you're finding value in winning money, the market's going to catch on within 3 months, and you've got to have found something else by then to actually make your profit.
There you go.
Yeah. So you've just got to keep moving. You keep moving.
Keep learning, and just talking to people is the best way to learn. And where do you find the most amount of people with the most amount of knowledge? Out at the racetrack. I mean, I've been personally lucky because Mark's my brother-in-law as well. Dad was a bookmaker, so I was seeing guys off the racetrack. But if you don't have those opportunities, then go out to the racetrack and just talk to people. And as we mentioned earlier on, like, the guys are so happy to talk to everybody and give them all the knowledge. It's not like we're keeping any little tricks up our sleeve. Although
I keep mounting our mums.
But in the main, if you don't teach, or if you don't impart, you don't have a game to play.
Yeah.
Like, it's all very well going, well, if I know everything over here, but if you know everything and they know nothing, they won't play.
Yeah.
and it's got to constantly happen, see, because the new guy, when he's learning, is going to lose money.
Yeah.
So you want to
it's the best
snap
way
some
to
of that.
learn.
You want to snap some of that up, and then that guy hopefully ends up being professional and making money out of it. And then there's a new lot
Oh,
learning.
so it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme. There you go. Jesus.
We've got an email here from our favourite person, Teen. For me, a question for the show. Ask Glenn. If you eat yourself, do you become twice as big, or do you vanish? It's a very good question. I suppose you vanish, don't you, Tika, because you die. But
Well, no. Well,
what does she mean by that? If
I don't
you
know.
eat
And
yourself-
why does that thought provoke her? Like, what's going on there?
She's an interesting person. I love her. My other question for the panel: what is the best multi-day carnival? This is a great question that you've all been to, and what has made it so good? I know yours will be Warrnambool. Who's that to? Mine.
It's my Warrnambool was just an amazing carnival that I went to twice.
But I wonder about Wonga, Grafton, Albury, Newcastle and Scone. I've been to all of those, and I also remember, well, all the provincial cups were multi-day carnivals, 8 race programs with 3 or 4 big races per day.
Do you remember when Hawkesbury was 3-day carnival? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Vaguely.
Like mid-80s, like 1985.
Yeah. I forgot about it, but now you say it, I do remember it.
3-day carnival at Hawkesbury.
What a beauty. I think the best carnival I've ever been to is, and it was only a one-day carnival, so it's not really a carnival, but Canamble Cup, when you came in the thing, and there was just the local butcher cooking, there was the local baker, the local deli, all the salads, and it was just like every different producer in that area was there, and every single thing was free.
Fair dinkum.
Free, yeah. You could have a steak burger off him. Hello, mate. You know, and then there was a publican. You could get a beer, or there was, like, as long as you went. Well, you didn't need a ticket. You could only have 2 beers. You can have a beer. If you had 6 beers, they might have said, "Listen, old mate, you've had 6 beers," but every single thing was free. Thank you for coming to our carnival, they would say, as they fed you fresh bread for the thing, and this and that and that. Salads were unbelievable, and I remember thinking. And then over there was like 40 bookies betting, and I thought, gee, it was a long drive here, but man, I am in heaven. Gee, it was a great day.
I've never heard that story before. G. Pollitt, he's got a store that you wouldn't believe, but that's an interesting idea about showcasing your wares. It's like the idea that sample bags used to be free at the show.
It's just like that.
We want to show you what we've got.
And that's what it was like. And it was just, and I was like, and I don't mean like average food. I mean, not like the stuff that Racing New South Wales gives you with a year ago with the
championships,
and
the country.
You could have an essence of chicken on a stick and don't touch anymore, and like it was just terrifyingly rude.
That might have been
don't do it again.
That might have been the bravado. You get a contract.
You don't do it again, Racing New South Wales. It doesn't work, and people are unhappy with it. Shove your food up your ass. But the essence of chicken was terrible. But the Canamble Cup with all the food and all the wares, and just thank you so much for tasting this. I'm there from the city going, this is fucking, I get hit by a car? Did I die on the way to Canamble? That was the best. But anyway, that's just a one-day carnival. That was my favourite thought. But the Newcastle 2-day carnival in the 80s and 90s, when not only would you not drive, you would get on the train for the 2-up and the card games the whole way, and you'd get to Newcastle races and you'd be dirty about being at Broadmeadow Station because there was so much action on the train as far as wagering. Great memories there.
What about today, bud?
Carnivals today.
Today they charge you $2.50 to get $200 out of a machine, and when you go to have a bet, or after you've had one drink and you laugh loud, they escort you off the course. It's just an unfriendly environment that has to change.
But it's just in line with the rest of life. Like, everything's sanitised, and the racing experience has been similarly sanitised.
Well, we're
you
going
get
to
administrators that have no background in racing whatsoever.
We're going to keep losing participants. People won't come back, and then eventually, with less and less bookmakers can operate, things just die. We're seeing it now.
I heard the best ones to go to were non-tab meetings when you were bookmaking. I heard they were pretty good.
What, like Bong Bong and...
I've never been to Bong Bong.
180%, stuff like that on the board. I'd say that'd be fun.
But you did go to Cumbie Chance.
I went to Come By Chance, yeah. Good on you, Rob. Thanks for telling me to take young Tom to Cumbie Chance. So it was a couple of hours down the road when he asked me to go. Fucking 9 hours in the car with Tom and a hot blonde Texan. Wow. Randy, her name was. Imagine dating a girl called Randy. Legs up to here, blonde.
Was she happy to be there? Did she know what was going on?
She was in love with Tom. You know when girls used to be in love with Tom, they thought they'd get somewhere? You know what it's like.
Now he's got 2 kids.
Now he's happily settled in the barn with a young Hoda.
And running Williams.
Is a particularly nice young lady.
Right, where are we going? Should we read Fortune Favoured, who is quite a long email, but he says, "Welcome back, guys. You were sorely missed." And he mentions our good friend Juppy, who obviously has done a number of shows in our absence from the Melbourne side of things. Taking a leaf out of the... There's a bit of a plane happening there. Taking a leaf out of the Winx playbook, I was thinking perhaps you blokes were away to have some sneaky surgery to prepare you for the spring. Glenn, surely a prime candidate for a lobotomy.
That seems unkind.
Well, I think this is revving you up, that's all. Congrats on the new brand, and just wanted to say good day and wish you all the best. Just quickly, you guys were discussing tab and the corporates last week. I do most of my punting in New South Wales because of the minimum bet rule legislation. Well, Gord's already alluded to that. The fact that that's the corollary to laptops, isn't it? We've got laptops on course, and then, everyone, Richard Irvine, I think, was in the vanguard of actually getting something happening about the minimum bet, and it's made a big difference that at 9 o'clock on race morning you can get set.
Didn't Snowy say that he used to have a guy at the track and he doesn't anymore because he can get on with the corporates?
He may have said that. He may have said that. I have accounts across the majority of the high street corps, and personally I haven't had too many issues getting set. The best 3 companies I've dealt with regarding the New South Wales bet rules are UBet, Bet365 and Sportsbet. Simple and straightforward procedure to get my account reopened and get my bets on any time after 9 AM. No hassles, bliss. Ladbrokes/bookmaker.com made life very difficult for me and eventually grew bored of the hoops they made you jump through. William Hill are a complete nightmare, they just don't give a toss and they're uncompetitive percentage-wise too. Luxbet's website and mobile app are a huge turn-off and they're never going to be the best price, so why would you? Although I must say I find Luxbet to be the best price quite often.
Right.
Classic Bet, nah, next. Top Bet, I don't know much about them except the tournaments, which is a solid point of difference. From what I read, Crown Bet and Top Sport seem to be okay. And to the big cheese, the tab. All those lovely shiny machines and the anonymity, no, I've missed it.
Anonymity.
No. Anonymity factor for the punter. Nice for friends of rugby league players and profit owners.
I like that. Seems a bit harsh.
They are at their most ruthless right now with their account monitoring and subsequent limiting banning. The clamps have been tightened. They also recently cancelled the rewards points program for any half-decent punter. Lovely to receive that email, plus 6 bowlers. I have no reason to walk into a JB Hi-Fi ever again.
What does he mean by that?
Well,
the reward points using in JB Hi-Fi.
Okay.
Right, so you have a bet, you bet a few, you turn over a few dollars with Tab, you get a few rewards points and you can buy
You like everything these days. They try and do it with everything. You know, you shop at the supermarket and they want you to get rewards points. You know, everything.
loyalty programs.
Yeah. The 2 that I find get the market particularly wrong on some horses are Bet365 and Crown Bet.
Bet365 are the best.
They're an ornament to the game, you know,
They're
Bet365.
They're unbelievable.
You know, they've come to Australia and said, we're going to single-handedly prop up the punting game.
Did you know they?
What's their loss? What are their figures?
I don't know, but they're beauties to bet with. Did you realise that they bet in play on the soccer? Did you know that? Obviously, they bet in play on the soccer. Did you know
They
that?
bet in play on the W League with no.
But they bet $1.002. Like, yeah, in play.
What was the score?
It was like 4-0 with 6 minutes to go. But you can have $1 million on to win 2,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's outstanding wagering. $1.004.
Where does the minimum bet rules sit? They've got a lay to lose 1,000. Yeah, so.
Well,
Yeah, you got to have a good bet.
yeah.
Once you get past $1.01 and then you get into increments of $1.01, that's outstanding wagering for the punter. Like, anyone that can take $1.004, fucking send us a photo in. I'm going to put you on my bedroom. You're my fucking hero.
I'd say it'd be bet rejected.
$1.004?
I'm saying that.
It's just there for display purposes.
Yeah.
So if you bring in $100,000 on to win $400, you're saying they won't bet you?
Well, it depends on which account. If you're
I'm saying they bet you.
If you're a losing whale, they don't make decisions like that. It's just automatic. It's coming from this account. We're not letting you on for that amount of money.
But in the soccer they do.
No, the soccer.
soccer-
They give me max bets, but they're a lot bigger than, let's say,
I have heard with Bet365 in England and places like that, they do take $10 and $20 million bets on the soccer.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it's a very high volume market, isn't it? I mean,
So it's $1.
It's a stable market.
It's amazing because it's $1.004 and the other team's $51.
I wish no bookmaking agency in the world offered markets on soccer, because I'll be a lot wealthier.
Gord's got considerable soccer expertise, which he has
You know.
deployed in a particularly
The
disadvantageous
sport
way.
I'm supposed to know the most about, and I can't find a way to win money on it. I'm just absolutely terrible.
Okay.
Oh, you can ask Mark about it. We had a joint account, and I lost 50,000 in a night betting on. Was it
the World Cup?
South African World Cup or something like that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyway, that's right. I went to bed with a bank and woke up with no bank.
It's just a bank. Anyway, so are you going to finish this off here? The best is the Jaeger.
The best is the over limit notification that pops up on EBT machines. This is the tab machines. I feel for the battling punters who don't know what this is. They must walk away confused and don't even bother having a bet. The worst thing is, if you keep hitting the bet and the over limit message keeps popping up, it sends the tab a message and they firm the price without laying a single dollar on a runner. Seen it too many times to remember. It's scandalous. And on feature race markets where they should be happy to lay a horse to lose a few thousand. In summary, If you want to sit at home on your ass, it's getting harder and harder to find an edge over these betting agencies. Need to keep reinventing the wheel. Rant over, all the best. Fortune favoured.
Thanks, Fortune Favoured.
That was a good email.
That was a good email. Just a couple of things just before we're just tidying up the part 2 and the end of the show is I just wanted to quickly talk about Channel 9 just quickly because I don't know if you've been listening to it, but I really always loved Ray Warren, and met him early days. Nice enough man. But they've got Peter Sterling, Ray Warren. Can you please stop saying about watching the Friday night football live and free here at Channel 9? You've got to stop it, okay? Because we're consumers. You get paid by advertisers. We watch the dirty, filthy advertisements at halftime. It's fucking torture watching all that crap. Nothing's live and free. Our eyes get wasted. It's a bit like pay TV. When I got involved with pay TV, what a beauty. You watch any good crime channel story, you can get 14 ads. A 5-minute break in shows. 14 ads I can now sometimes. Well, I pause and then come back to it. So nothing's ever free. And for them to keep advertising that Channel 9 football is live and free is just wrong. It's annoying.
One thing about pay TV is they don't put ads during playing sport matches. Yeah, I'll give them that. And here's a big negative to Foxtel not actually getting the rights for the English Premier League. Absolutely disgraceful.
So who's got them?
Optus. But you've got to go on a plan with them with
Oh,
phones
right.
and everything so you can actually watch the Premier League.
Okay, I noticed if you call Optus, that's the first thing they mention. If you're calling about the Premier League...
I'm sure they're getting a lot of calls. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I think Foxtel
Olympics,
will be
boys.
getting
We haven't mentioned the Olympics while we're getting to the end of the
Hello?
show.
Good little earn.
Hey.
Any Aussie favourite? Good chance they choke, Liam.
Blame, okay. But interesting at all? Been watching? No.
I have.
Have they started paddle pop?
I'm getting into some strange sports.
That's what I'm saying. Have they started paddle pop sticks, building homes, or something like every other dopey sports on? Gee, there's some bad sports.
Skateboarding's coming,
Well, the ridiculous ones are the ones that have been there going around for ages. Like, why the hell do you have a walking range? Isn't the idea to get from A to B as quickly as possible?
To torture to watch.
And you've seen them? It makes you feel like it's like fingers on
Jessica
a-
Fox on that canoe going down the mountain wins a bronze. I really want to just... I just self-burn when I see Jessica Fox. She's such a lovely young lady, but like 1 in a million girls ride a fucking canoe. How's it sport? You know anyone that rides a canoe?
Rides a canoe.
Well, fucking paddles a fucking thing. You know anyone that paddles a canoe?
There must be plenty, surely.
Is there?
But aren't all those Olympic sports that? People don't do it. They just choose to do it
You
for
choose
the
the
Olympics.
sport. The girl that won the rowing yesterday, they tell me
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
a champion
Hurdler
hurdler
against Jana Pittman.
against
Yeah.
Shanna Pittman, but couldn't beat Pitty.